White officer tried to find black driver illegally. What happened next shocked everyone. He was just trying to do his job driving through icy mountain roads with a truck full of goods, when a white traffic officer suddenly flagged him down. What looked like a routine stop turned into something darker. The officer demanded cash on the spot, made strange accusations, and threatened to impound his truck. But what the officer didn't know, the black truck driver had a dashcam, a legal background, and someone watching from a distance. What happened next turned the quiet snow-covered mountain into the center of a viral scandal that rocked the country. Before we dive in, please support us by subscribe, like and share for more with activating the notification bell. Thank you. The wind howled through the towering pines of Idaho's frozen mountains, swirling snow like ghostly sheets across the treacherous road. Marcus Bell, a 38-year-old long-haul trucker with a spotless driving record and a quiet strength about him, gripped the steering wheel of his 18-wheeler, bundled in his winter jacket and gloves. Marcus's breath fogged up the cabin as he carefully navigated the icy curves. Hauling a delivery of critical construction equipment, a former Army logistics officer, Marcus was disciplined and alert. He had taken this route many times, but today felt off. As he rounded a bend, the glow of red and blue emergency lights cut through the snow. A traffic patrol SUV was parked diagonally across part of the road, its engine humming under a thin layer of frost. A tall white officer wearing a winter uniform and a fur-lined hat stepped out, waving him down with a cold stare. Marcus slowed the truck to a stop, confused but compliant. The officer approached with a clipboard, his badge reading SGT Colin Rayner, and barked, "License, registration, and your delivery manifest." Marcus handed them over politely, watching the man scan through the documents with exaggerated suspicion. "You're right. Taillights flickering," Rayner said sharply. "You're operating an unsafe vehicle. That's a fine." Marcus blinked. "Sir, I checked everything at the last stoplights, tires, everything." Rayner scowled. "Don't argue with me, boy. That's a $250 fine. Cash only." That phrase, cash only, hit Marcus like a red flag. His instincts sharpened. He knew enough about the law to realize this wasn't just irregular, it was illegal. Marcus's heart pounded, but his face remained calm. He took a step outside into the icy air, snow crunching beneath his boots. "With respect, officer," he said steadily, "can I get a formal citation and pay through the proper department?" The officer's jaw tightened. "I said cash. Now," Rayner barked, "or I'll have this junk towed in 5 minutes. Hope you've got another ride lined up." Marcus's eyes scanned the area, but there were no other cars in sight, just him, the cop, and a silence broken only by the wind and the rumble of his truck's idling engine. The officer circled the vehicle, pointing out bogus violations, the tire treads low, that license plate's covered in grime, your load looks suspicious. Every word felt like a trap. Marcus had dealt with tension before in the army and on the road, but this was something deeper. It wasn't about vehicle safety. It was personal. "This feels targeted, officer," Marcus said. "I'd like to speak to your supervisor." That's when Rayner's mask cracked. His voice dropped an octave. "You people always try to talk your way out of trouble." Marcus stiffened. There it was, the racial undertone, thinly veiled and deeply familiar. But Marcus didn't flinch. Instead, he calmly unzipped his jacket to reveal a compact bodycam, flashing red and silently recording. "I'm recording this for my safety," he said. Rayner scoffed, snatched his citation pad, and scribbled down nonsense violations, then shoved the paper into Marcus's chest. "You've got 5 minutes to pay or lose the truck." But just as Marcus stepped back toward his cab, something unexpected happened. He wasn't as alone as he thought. From a distance, just beyond the snowy embankment, a small SUV was quietly parked. Inside sat Emily Vargas, a local journalist and photojournalist who had been driving home after covering a winter festival. She had seen the flashing lights and slowed down, her instincts kicking in. With her telephoto lens and press badge always in reach, she had decided to stop and observe. Emily didn't know Marcus, but she did recognize SGT Rayner. She'd heard rumors about him for years, whispers from locals, vague complaints, people of color pulled over more frequently, but no solid evidence until now. As she zoomed in, with her camera, she captured the tension, the body language, and the officer's increasing aggression. Her microphone picked up phrases like "you people" and "cash only." She hit record on her phone, too, backing up footage in real time. What she saw chilled her more than the weather. The trucker wasn't being combative, he was calm, respectful, and clearly being extorted. She dialed a contact at the Idaho Civil Liberties Union and whispered, "He's doing it again." I have it all on camera. Meanwhile, Marcus, still unaware of his guardian angel nearby, stood his ground. I'm not paying you on the side of the road, he repeated. Issue me the proper citation. Rayner advanced on him, voice rising. Next time, stay off these roads. We don't like outsiders stirring up trouble. That's when Emily opened her car door, stepped into the snowy scene, and shouted, Officer, this interaction is being recorded from 2 angles, one of them professional. What you're doing is illegal, and I have it all. Rayner turned, stunned, and suddenly, the dynamic shifted completely. Within 24 hours, Emily's video exploded online. She posted it on Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok with the caption, Black trucker illegally fined by Idaho State Patrol, recorded by bodycam and journalists. The footage showed everything. Marcus remaining calm, asking for due process, and the officer making a string of racist remarks. Hashtags like hashtag justice for Marcus, hashtag rogue cop, and hashtag truckers deserve rights lit up the internet. Within hours, Marcus was contacted by CNN, the New York Times, and even Trevor Noah's team. The Idaho State Police released a short, vague statement. We are reviewing the officer's conduct, but the truth was harder to bury now. Emily's footage was clear, and Marcus's dashcam backed it up. Civil rights attorneys called the incident an open and shut case of racial profiling and extortion. Then came the deeper dig. Journalists uncovered prior complaints against SGT, Rayner filed by a Native American rancher, a Latina teacher, and a Somali rideshare driver, all dismissed without formal investigation. The ICRU formally demanded Rayner's suspension and launched a civil suit. Under growing pressure, Rayner was placed on administrative leave pending review. Meanwhile, Marcus remained calm and dignified in every interview. I didn't want to fight, I wanted to finish my route, he said. But if my story helps keep another black man from being extorted on the side of a snowy road, then maybe it was meant to happen. In the days that followed, trucker forums and unions rallied around him. Some companies offered him better contracts. Others donated to legal funds. Marcus had become more than a victim, he was now a face of quiet resistance. 3 months later, Marcus Bell stood in a Washington, D.C. hearing room, testifying in front of Congress, flanked by civil rights leaders, union reps, and trucking advocates. He spoke into the microphone. This wasn't just about me. It's about the system that allows this kind of abuse on quiet roads, where no one is watching. Lawmakers nodded solemnly. His story had sparked real conversations about the abuse of power in isolated areas, racial targeting, and the rights of interstate drivers. Several states introduced legislation requiring body cams for rural patrol officers, banning on-zoo-spot cash fines, and installing dashcams in commercial fleets. Marcus was invited to conferences, podcasts, even a TEDx talk titled, The Road to Respect, Fighting Injustice 1 Mile at a Time. SGT Rayner was found guilty of official misconduct and racial harassment. He lost his badge and faced civil penalties. Emily Vargas was honored for her journalism and transparency. But Marcus, he went back to the road not for money or fame, but for peace. He also started Roll Free, a non-profit that equips truckers with free dashcams and legal support. At rest stops, other drivers now shook his hand. You helped us all, they'd say. One snowy night, as he fueled up in Colorado, a young white rookie officer approached him nervously. Mr. Bell, I watched your testimony. Thank you for your courage. Marcus simply nodded and smiled. He never wanted to be a hero. He just wanted justice and, maybe, finally, the road ahead looked a little clearer for the ones coming after him.